What's up? Decided to do a lot more goat format decks on this channel, because I feel like that's going to be more popular and nice and chill things to record, and then maybe sprinkle a few of my own little made up crazy formatting with that. But today we've got XYZ, and it's a deck that I've been wanting to play for ages, been wanting to try out for ages. And if it's a deck that you've been debating picking up, I would highly recommend it because it's surprisingly decent and really, really fun. So yeah, to start off, we've got 3 X-Head cannons. So this is unsearchable and unrecruitable, which is why we have to max out on it. But we don't mind because it's 1800 and 1500. So it's sook proof. It beats over like a breaker that's used a token or a tribe. Very, very nice. You've got triple Dekoichi. This is amazing in this deck because you have limiter removal and you have Nobleman of Crossout and Return from a Different Dimension. So this is kind of like a combo piece where you can banish your own Dekoichi, 2 other Dekoichis from the deck with your Nobleman, and then bring them all back, potentially double their attack, and that is a fuck ton of damage. You've got the Y and Z. I only run one of each because they are searchable with Sangan. They are recruitable by Shining Angel. What these do is you can equip them to an X-Head cannon you control whilst they're face up on the field, and then if it would be destroyed by battle, it is not destroyed, or card effect, same deal. This gives it 500 attack, this gives it 600 attack, which is good because this one, as you can see, has a terrible defense stat, whereas this one has a really decent defense stat. So you can set this and then it can withstand an attack from like a breaker or a tribe. To be fair, you're probably not going to set this against tribe because then they can just discard a card to get rid of it, but you can set it against 1600 or lower and then it'll survive, and you can summon your X-Head cannon and you can go from there. Very, very cool. You run a little mini warrior package just to beef up your banish pile. So that's what DD Assailant is for. Same goes for DD Warrior Lady. But this is also recruitable by Shining Angel and searchable by Sangan. Very, very nice. For the third warrior, I decided to go with Zombira the Dark. He is an insanely underrated card. He's 2-1 attack for level 4. You cannot attack directly, and each time you destroy a monster by battle, you lose 200 attack, which isn't a big deal because usually you're only beating over 1 monster with this, and then it'll go to the grave, and then you can banish it and bring it back and beat over something else. Really, really cool card. I prefer this over Exiled Force because it's a dark, and we are running Chaos Boix in here. You've got 3 Shining Angel. Very important, used to recruit your X and Y pieces for your combo, as well as Warrior Lady. Very nice. Or you can just stall out by getting other copies of Shining Angel. Under the Chaos Boys, we run 2 Chaos Sorcerer. I prefer this over 3 because you're already running a couple of bricks in X and Y, and not X and Y, sorry, Y and Z, and X isn't like the most amazing card to draw all the time, so I decided to just run 2 Chaos Sorcerer because you don't want to draw a bunch of bricks and a dead Chaos Sorcerer. Doing BLS because it's ridiculously powerful, most OP card in gold format. Run Sangan because you can search a bunch of stuff. You can search your Dekoichis if you want to do the Nobleman banish, or if you've just got nothing else good to search, you can search your Shining Angel. You can, if you want to stall out, you can search your Z and Y pieces if you want to make a big fusion, return from a different dimension play. Very, very good. And Breaker the Magical Warrior, you want to get rid of spawn traps because you want to safely push for game. That's what this deck's all about, really, is just making one big push and then winning the game. Speaking of which, you've got Cyberjar. This is amazing because it sets up your board for fusion plays and return from the different dimension plays. You can set a bunch of Dekoichis, you can set some Shining Angels, you can set your pieces, for fusion plays, and add cards to your hand, like return from a different dimension. This is a broken card in my opinion, especially in this deck. Nobleman we've talked about, but obviously you can also use this to banish your opponent's Magician of Faiths. Very nice. Limiter removal helps you go for game. So this doubles the attack of all machine type monsters that you control, and then they are destroyed during the end phase. So you can use it as a battle trick, but usually you use it to go for game. That's why I'm running 2 instead of 3, because using it to get over an opponent's monster is not that great, because you don't get to keep your opponent's monster. You don't get to keep your monster. So something like Sakuretsu would probably be better if you want to use the card for that purpose. But I mainly use this just to go for big swings. You've got Heavy Storm, MST, very standard, very stable, especially in a big swing kind of deck. You've got 1 reinforcements of the army. Usually if I'm running Rota, I will tend to run like 4 warriors, but because this is quite a fast-paced, aggressive deck, I feel fine only using the 3. You've got Pot of Greed. I'm a bit iffy on this card, it's not the best. Graceful Charity. Unfortunately no way to plus off this, but it's still broken. You've got Snatch Steel, helps you go for game. You don't run any tribute monsters, unfortunately, but still really, really, really good. You've got Premature Burial, again, helps you go for game. You can bring back a bunch of beaters like Zombira or X-Head Cannon, very, very nice. And obviously your Chaos Monsters, which is the main target if you've got them in your grave. You've got Call the Haunted, same principle as Prem. Ring of Destruction, standard, helps you go for game. Torrential Tribute, standard. Mirror Force, standard. For the spicy traps, we run a Dust Tornado, getting rid of back rows, imperative in this deck. Royal Decree really hurts, so if your opponent, if you know your opponent's playing Decree and they set a spell trap and you've got this, you can activate it preemptively to try and get rid of a Decree. You've got 2 Solemn Judgment. I don't like 3 because you're already paying life points in return from a different dimension, and this is basically insurance against spell traps when you're going for game, but it can also be used to stop like a BLS or something that you know is going to wreck your face. And the last card is 2 Return from a Different Dimension. Insanely broken card, but I don't like maxing out on this because it is dead turn 1, and you tend to see it often enough, and it's not your only win condition. Obviously you're running BLS, 2 Chaos Sorcerers, and even like X-Head Cannon equipped with one of the pieces can be pretty deadly. That's a pretty beefy attack stat and with protection, so it's not the only win condition, but it is the best one. Onto the fusions, we have XYZ Dragon Cannon, XYZ, seeing as I'm not a Yank. You've got the ability to pop any card on the field by discarding a card. It's not once per turn, so you can clear a whole board similar to Tribe, but including spell traps, so that's really, really nice. You don't make this too often because you need all 3 pieces on the board, but you can make it sometimes by using Return from a Different Dimension, or if you just build up your board, but you kind of want to be sitting on Solemn Judgments and things to that nature if you want to do that, because obviously it's a lot of cards to go into 1 card, and then to have it destroyed would be quite suck. So you've got YZ Tank Dragon. This is made using Y and Z, obviously. This one's really good. This one you can discard a card to destroy a face down monster, so that's really, really nice if you think they've got a Magician of Faith. Next you've got XZ. I can't remember the name of this one, but if you look as well, the difference between the Korean card color and the dark European, I'm assuming this is European and not American, it's pretty crazy. So this one's got 2/4 attack, very, very nice, more than YZ, which says 2/1. This one can destroy face down spell traps by discarding a card, so also very, very nice. and you've got XY, which can destroy face-up spell traps, so it's not very good, but sometimes you need to banish those two, which are X and Y, to make a return from the different dimension play and get them back. You should, if you don't care too much about money, you should be running 2 of each of these, just in case. I've not needed to make 2 of any of these yet, but I'm sure it will come up eventually. I'm not sure if it's just the way that I play the deck, but I'm perfectly happy just running 1 of each. So yeah, that's the deck. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, all that good shit. I've got a homebrew fiend tribute summon normal deck that I'm going to be showing next, so stay tuned for that. Bye bye.